very much. I'm going to be very brief because we want to move on here. We have Bernie Sanders, who we all want to hear. I want to hear from Roseanne, and others. But there's something I do want to say very quickly. You had someone standing up here before that talked about Prop 103. And the individual was giving credits to everybody around the state about what they did for 103. The fact of the matter is, without Harvey, there would be no 103. I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know how to tell you this. There were many of us that worked, if you will, to get 103 going. But it was one individual who was out there day and night, and that was Harvey, and I want to give you one quick example. John Vandekamp was the Attorney General at the time. John was ambivalent about 103 because it was a political issue. And that's what some politicians are, not the senator sitting here tonight. And John was very equivocal because I remember we drafted the briefs for the Supreme Court in our conference room in our office. Had it not been for Harvey, John would have sent a young lawyer out of the Attorney General's office who really didn't have his or her heart in it. I can't remember who it was, Harvey. But it was Harvey who pushed us, and I remember going to the Supreme Court that day in Sacramento. It was John Vandekamp, myself, and Harvey. And I wasn't sure, Harvey, that John really wanted to argue before the Supreme Court. And it was you who said, John, get your ass up there and stand up for justice. That's the kind of guy Harvey is. Now look, the honorees here tonight, everyone in the audience is an honoree, because without consumer watchdog, this state and this nation wouldn't be where it's in. You saw the tip of the iceberg. You saw people like Jamie. You saw Jerry, the phenomenal staff they have. We are so honored to have all of you supporting, and this staff that stands up for every consumer, every poor person in this state, and which reverberates around the country. Look, let's stop all the bullshit. We're living in some very difficult times. Every morning, you get a tweet. And the tweet is who you ought to hate for that day. That's the tweet. There's one other third branch of our government that we have to be concerned about, and that's the judiciary. I'm getting ready to present a fabulous award to an incredible human being, but I would be remiss if I didn't say this. And let me tell you where Wall Street is going. They are defunding our judiciary because the only way Consumer Watchdog or any of you fabulous lawyers that are here can stand up for middle-class America, the consumer, or those that may not have the color of your skin, is by going into a courtroom. And when they start to defund the budget of the courts, that's when we're in big trouble. And that's what's happening not only nationally, but here in the state of California under a Democratic governor. And I see it up in Sacramento, as you all do. The judiciary's budget is getting cut, and as much as I love Consumer Watchdog, and I don't want to waste your time here any further before I do the presentation, you've got to stand up for that judiciary, regardless of who is appointed, because it is only the courthouse that will allow us to have our voice heard. In 1981, I was a young, mean son of a bitch lawyer. And I had, I know I don't look that old. Yes, I am. That was 37 years ago, if my math is correct. I had a young lawyer come in, say to me, Mr. Cotchett, I want to be a trial lawyer. And I said, really? I said, what's your background? He said, I'm Sicilian. I said, no. No, 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 no. Hey, kid, where'd you go to school? You know, the routine. I have it in front of me. He wanted to talk about Sicily. I wanted to talk about USF and Jesuit training. I was so honored on that day when a young man by the name of Frank Petri walked into our office. And you see, it was just not Frank that walked in. And you have to understand all the good lawyers in this courtroom, whoever you may be, he or she or whoever you may be. You don't stand alone. You stand with your family, your friends, and what you stand for. And the beauty of a Frank Petri, I guess it's all Sicilians, they love that shit, is that it is his entire family that came in on that day in 1981 and said, Mr. Cotchett. I said, call me Jose. It is the whole family that was standing before me, and I would like to take 30 seconds to just ask that family to stand up. Now, I can tell you all the fortunes we've had over 37 years, but we want to hear from others today. We're so honored to honor these fabulous people. If you want to find out about Frank's background, yes, he does speak Italian. Go to the fabulous book, and you will read about all the cases where he takes on Wall Street, PG&E. I could go down the list, boom, 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 boom. And he takes them on with passion and integrity. And that's what he's all about. And that's the family that he comes from. I guess we could do more, but we have, what, a film that's going to talk more eloquently than I could describe Frank Petri is a fabulous video.